On this episode of the Mettleist, I explain why shooting your shot is always a win. Let's roll. Shooting your shot is always a win. This is some new energy and philosophy that I've been on recently. It doesn't matter if it's romantically, professionally, or otherwise, it's always the right thing to do. Before I dive into why this is the case, we first need to spend a brief moment to talk about rejection. A lot of people, including myself at times, have a fear of rejection. It's perfectly natural and part of the process. No one likes feeling or being told that they aren't good enough. The anxiety before you shoot your shot is something otherworldly. It's a combination of adrenaline and nervousness that is unlike anything else. That's why hopefully what I'm about to tell you today is going to change your perspective and help you kind of get over that fear of shooting your shot. There are two core reasons why shooting your shot is always a win. The first one is you get the result that you're aiming for. Whether it's getting the date you wanted, the job promotion, or a podcast guest, getting that yes, scoring that basket is a high unlike anything else and will have you feeling like you can walk on water for the rest of the day. It's close to being the best feeling in the world. So even getting the opportunity to come close to experience that feeling is worth it. Sure, the lows can be low, but the highs are so much higher. The second reason why shooting your shot is always a win is a little bit harder to get to mentally, admittedly. However, it's the thing that kind of inspired this piece. You should always shoot your shot because no matter what happens, it's going to get you one step closer to what you actually want. Let me explain. There are two things that I'm most confident in. Number one, I'm going to be hyper successful. Number two, I'm going to marry someone who is a total package. Look, I don't make the rules. Naturally, this leads me to shoot for the damn stars, especially with women. Now, it's not like I'm chucking up shots left and right with Instagram models or anything of that sort. However, recently I kind of lucked into a potential opportunity with someone light years out of my league. I had to shoot from half court. Unfortunately, I missed. It happens, it's part of the game, right? But somewhere in this rejection, it hit me that even on a miss, it's always a win. Hell, even beforehand, I almost kind of got like this feeling where it's like, wait, you kind of know what you're doing here. So let me explain how shooting your shot is always a win, even on a miss. And for this, we're going to use Skittles as our baseline example. So think of it this way. You have a bag of Skittles, and your goal is to pull out a red Skittle. For every color that you pull out that isn't red, it just goes on a little separate pile away from the bag. This parallel is getting rejected because you know you don't have a chance with those other colors. You are only searching for that red Skittle. So let's say you pull out a green Skittle, then a yellow, then a purple, then an orange. Sooner rather than later, that Skittles bag is going to get smaller and smaller. And eventually those odds of pulling a red Skittle are going to become larger and larger. It's basic probability. Soon enough, you're going to pull a red Skittle from the bag. And I can already hear your rebuttal. The Mettleist, there's no correlation between one shot, your next, and the previous. And yes, you're totally right, and I appreciate your logical thinking because I would have probably thought the exact same thing. But when you have the sheer confidence that you're due for one, all that logic goes out the window. It's just like basketball. You ever see Steph Curry start off a game 0 for 5 shooting, and then he makes his next 7 straight shots? That's this mindset. It only takes one to go in, so just keep shooting. That is exactly what I'm getting at here as well. These two reasons are why shooting your shot is always a win. The first being that you get your desired outcome immediately, and the second being it gets you one step closer to that outcome regardless of the response. Now there's a third reason, but I want to save that for a later video because it ties into a much larger point overall. And that's why shooting your shot is always a win. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. We try to do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for your daily source of motivation and inspiration. And maybe even share this video with a friend, maybe someone who's kind of scared to ask out their crush or ask for that job promotion or anything on the lines of shooting your shot. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.